My name's Steven Hutcheson. I'm a director of a company called INACELL CIC. We're looking to help reform prisoners, teaching them how to use music, musical equipment, teaching them about music. My road was, I ended up with a 9.5-year sentence for narcotics, being a male from the lower classes. It's a struggle trying to provide for your family at times, etc. I got wrapped up in the wrong type of business. However, during my incarceration, I really channeled everything into the music. There was a lot of bad, negative stuff going on all around me every day. Some of these new drugs, spice and etc., are just absolutely awful, and the place was rife with it. I just got my head into music and stayed well away from it. I think the laws are wrong. The prohibition of drugs puts knives in the hands of children. So while there's a black market, there's always going to be violence, and they're looking for the answers for this. It's right in their face. Portugal legalised drugs. Their addiction rate has dipped. Their crime rate has dipped. But for whatever reason, they're just so stubborn with this situation. If they spent a quarter of the money actually helping the people that had addiction issues, rather than 4 times that locking everyone up, we'd have a better society. I started off in Wood Hill. I was there for a month. I come down to Bullingdon. Whilst I was in Bullingdon, I had an idea of potentially getting some music equipment to pass my time. A couple of weeks before I was incarcerated, I found myself in Rudimental Studio, funny enough. A friend of mine knows them quite well, and I had a really good time. And I just looked at it like, mate, I'm in the wrong game. I started off my music, I was really into like British conscious hip hop. I just wanted to get an Akai 1000, which is a little blue analog box where you can sample and make tracks out of sampling. My sister's husband at the time said, "No, you don't want one of them, you want one of these, they've just come out." So I applied for it in Bullingdon, I got turned down. I got moved to Hull, which is in Redditch. I applied for it, I got turned down. I got to Winton Green. I got involved in a choir, like a team building exercise. I sung Living on a Prayer, and I sung One Love, You Too. I turned around to the governor, I said, listen, I think it was a corporate thing, so they were getting some type of benefit out of this, and because I performed so well, I asked for it, and lo and behold, day on my birthday, he called me up to the office and said, there you go. So I basically had this piece of equipment, which is an MPC Live. I've had lots of frustrating times with this. This is actually the original. Yeah, this saved my life, really. It was the most frustrating piece of equipment at the start. Managed to update it a few times. And then it was a beautiful thing to have in my cell. So basically, the only way to get samples and extra sounds was to basically go to the prison library, select obscure films and music, and basically run them through a DVD player, into the telly, out into the Akai. And then you just record it. That's how I got my sounds. From there, I needed extra sounds, so when I got to my next jail, which was Coldenley, I applied to have a synthesizer, Base Station 2. I saw it advertised. It was actually a mere rudimental that was advertising it in this magazine. So I got it. That was cool. It was good for bassline sounds, and I needed some more sounds. So what actually happened was I got involved in the prison band. I was actually singing for them, etc., and playing. And then we done some fundraising for some charities, for some children's charities. And we also performed for the Howard League. Every time I've done a performance, I asked for another piece of equipment. I ended up with quite a bit of equipment at the end. We've made some pretty good music, to be honest with you, and the time we had, you know, I couldn't say it was wasted. The majority of the album that we're going to release was created during lockdown. While you guys were witnessing what lockdown was about, we were doing lockdown times 2. We were in an open prison. We should have been going home to see our families, and that was just switched off. Going back to BCAT, just before I got to open prison, before coronavirus, I had the idea of creating a multimedia centre to help support suicidal prisoners. Now the way it worked was we created content. We found a disused old radio show equipment. We put it all together, managed to get it in a room, got outside funding, and we ended up with a network of free computers creating content for this show. Me personally, I've done a conscious hip hop show. I managed to do eight-hour shows before I left, and that would be on a cycle. So all this content would be channeled directly into everyone's cell. So it was actually a TV channel in the cells. At night time, it had things like mindfulness and bedtime yoga and just helpful things for, you know, some prisoners in there are not macho, and they're really struggling in there. It seems like the people who shout the loudest are the ones that get the help, and they're not necessarily the nicest people, you know. To be honest with you, the music market is absolutely saturated. Any upper class kid can ask their mum and dad for Ableton and watch a few videos and knock out something quite high quality. Using all the loops and the MIDI packs and all this, for me that is just absolutely cheating. How the hell can you say that's your music? But they do, okay? Our music contains hardly any loops. All the intricate drum patterns have been played in by hand, tapping on the pads. It takes a long time to get them completely in the right place, but you know, it was the hard way to make music. I used the Akai to sample the outboard synthesizers. I ended up with an Electron Digitone and a Waldorf Blofeld, as well as the bass station, and low frequency got a TR8. So, you know, we've been planning on doing some live sets, so hopefully in the future we can get together and get that going. It's been up and down, man. You know, members of INACELL have dropped in and out through their hardships. There's a lifer that had to try and get parole, etc. And he's been harassed by his probation. That's why he can't make it today. We've all had our own issues, getting back into society, getting back into the swing of things. But, you know, we're here now, and I feel this is the time. It's now or never. It's this summer. One of our tracks, who knows which one, music's so subjective. One of them, I'm sure the crowd will like. So, God willing, we can be performing it many occasions in many places. If you like our music, just share it. It doesn't, share a link, it doesn't cost anything. It's just positivity at the end of the day. Our music doesn't hold any bad messages. It's the absolute opposite. It's pure positivity. So show us some love, man, share it.